I'm gonna let a few people come in, man, before I unload on this joint. Before I unload on this joint, we're gonna let a few people come in. Nice Saturday afternoon. Nice, beautiful Saturday afternoon to talk some sports. And in this case, we're gonna talk some women's sports. We're gonna talk some WNBA basketball sports. You feel me? What's up, y'all? Who we got in the house so far? Who we got in the house so far? Y'all can imagine, man, the reason why we had to do this today. I was chilling, man. And I promise y'all, I do not be thinking about none of this stuff, man. I really don't. I was not thinking about no Caitlin Clark. Because as most of y'all know, not my favorite player. I do not watch a lot of her games. I really don't. I really don't. I'll put it this way. If her game is on with a Dallas game, I'm watching Dallas. If a game is on with a Chicago game, I'm watching Chicago. If a game is on with the Aces, I'm watching the Aces. You know? But, as is the case in this content creator community, a whole lot of my content comes as a result of Caitlin Clark fans running their mouth. Because for some reason, YouTube is just determined to put their feeds in my stuff. Henry T. Hurley Jr. was good. What's up, bro? Just waiting to get a couple more people come in, man, before we unload. You feel me? Sports Junkie here. I seen my name pop up. I had to jump in. No, man, not Sports Junkie. Courtside Junkie. Is that you, dog? That's you, Courtside Junkie? You go by the name Sports Junkie, too? Yeah, you. And if it is you, yeah, you the reason that I'm doing this, man. Because that's you. That last video, that was sad, bro. That was real sad. And I see you taking talking points from Ben Daniels. That's real sad. He like the saddest dude out there. But at any rate, man. So, anyway, I guess this is centered around the CBA coming up, right? Which is like the negotiating that has to be done for the new rules for the WNBA. And you know the presidents are players like Neka Gumake. That's your sad Dallas Cowboys channel. I'm gonna definitely be cooking that channel. That's good. We got a lot to talk about since you a Cowboy fan too. You know what I'm saying? But that video was sad, bro. So anyway, you got the CBA coming up. And basically you and Ben Daniels and other CC fans who I try to be cool with, but y'all coming with this whole notion that first of all, there should be no negotiating table or anything like that till Caitlin Clark walks in the door. You coming with this idea, you saying stuff like the majority of the fans that are watching WNBA are Caitlin Clark fans. I want to see where's your proof of that the majority are Caitlin Clark fans. I want to see the evidence of that. Now, if your argument is which individual player has the largest fan base, that's a bigger fan base than any other player, without a doubt, it would be Caitlin Clark. I'm quite certain that that's the case. Maybe if you ask who's second, it might be like an Angel Reese, for example, or Sabrina. I really don't know because I don't spend a lot of time with that stuff. But if you want to say that, then maybe that's the case. But I'm gonna tell you why, like the type of thing you want is unrealistic and ridiculous. Number one, you spend a whole lot of time talking about all this like credit Caitlin Clark should get and all this acknowledgement Caitlin Clark should get from the top players, whether it's Sabrina Ionescu, Aja Wilson. You spend time talking about Aja Wilson don't like Caitlin Clark. I don't know where you get that from, but this is what you claim. You claim that these top players won't acknowledge her. All right, my question is, what does this acknowledgement look like? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to call a special press conference and then what? Acknowledge What do you want Agent Wilson to do? Oh, Caitlin Clark, we thank you for coming to the WNBA and bringing all these bumpkins from the Midwest and these bumpkins from Indiana and all these bumpkins from Iowa to come and just watch us. And we thank you so much for allowing us to be seen by people like Courtside Junkie and Ben Daniels and all these other dudes who are only watching for you. They don't watch us, they're only watching for you. Caitlin Clark, oh my God, where's your ring finger so that we can kiss your ring finger? So like what does this acknowledgement you're talking about look like? How does this become manifest? What is it that you want that would make you happy so that way you won't be saying this dumb shit no more? Like what is it that you want? Right? Because you complain about if they defend her tough, right? Like, to me, I would look at tough defense as a compliment if you're a competitor and watching sports. But that's a problem. We're gonna complain about that one. We're gonna say that that's not respect for your game. We're gonna say that that's, trying to hurt somebody, or that's just because they don't like somebody, or that's jealousy out of somebody. So I want to know, right, what do you expect players who've been playing the game since they 5 years old, 6 years old, working on their craft, working on dribbling, working on shooting, working on defense, working on offense, working on sets, learning, put their blood, sweat, and fucking tears into the game to be a professional, to make it at the highest level, because this is what it takes. I'm trying to figure out what are you expecting for them to do? To just be like, oh my God, there's this other player who didn't put no more effort than we did, who ain't put no more, who ain't did shit we ain't do. Like this, what type of ass kissing would satisfy you so that you're not making any more of this stupid ass content that causes me to come up here and have to refute it? I just really want to know. I really want to know. Listen, I'm not coming to your live right now. I'm gonna do my live right now, and maybe we can work something out later. Maybe we can work something out later. Not pulling up to your live right now. I'm gonna address this right here because it ain't just you. It's also Ben Daniels. He's a lost cause, right? And I actually think that he just sees that he has a gold mine with the shit that he's doing. And I think you getting there too. I think you seeing that this type of stuff, like this content sells, right? You probably like the nice little YouTube check, so you're gonna keep it up. That part I kind of get, but I want to talk serious here, right? When you talk leverage and you talk power, bro, one player can only have but so much leverage. Like, we're gonna talk like really how business works or whatever, especially in a team sport, right? So if you got Caitlin Clark, and let's say, I don't know, I'm just picking a number, 10 million, she got 10 million people that want to see her, right? That's leading to the ratings or whatever. Let's say it's just 10 million, right? The only way it's possible for her to be seen is she got to have teammates, right? Caitlin Clark can't just appear on a basketball court by herself against 5 players and have a product. The product got to consist of, she got to have teammates. She also has to have opponents in order for this to be a thing. And I'm saying, speaking from the standpoint of leverage, she ain't the only one with leverage, because those other players can just decide, like they said, strike, to just strike. And then she's sitting there with a basketball with a dick in her hand. Like, I'm joking, talking, of course, not literally, right? She's just sitting there with a basketball in her hand, that's it. And nothing can happen. So those women, even though you disrespect their game and what they've done and what they laid forth, and many of them who are actually better basketball players than her, like their resumes tell you that, their numbers tell you that and everything, you can do all that, right? But they do have leverage. They do have leverage. Oh yeah, well, I don't know why you ain't making no money. Shit, would you ain't monetized? What you talking about? Hell, you mean you ain't making no money off the channel? I don't even want to talk about all that, but let's be for real. Come on, bro. Stop it. Maybe you're making more off of some other channels, But ain't no way you ain't telling me that a big part of why you would go the Caitlin Clark route is it grows fast. Come on, that's common sense. Cut the Ish Real Talk Sports says LeBron is the most recognizable player in the NBA. Arguably, he's not the president of the Players Union. Yeah, Courtside Junkie. Okay, I see you talking to him. Right. That's the thing. All these discussions are necessary. Now, what I'll probably do is have another live about this later, because right now I'm not using the right operating system right now. I got to be home in the studio, pull up the other joint, the StreamYard joint, and then I can let people come on and we could probably do it in a better way. Right now I'm just out and about, you know what I mean, making errands, and I just saw Courtside Junkie's video, which had me like, what the hell is going on? There's more disrespect for these women? It's just crazy. Good point, TJ. That's right. But I'm trying to figure out, like, I want to know, what do Caitlin Clark, these content creators and all that, and these fans who own that type of time, because some fans, I'm starting to meet some Caitlin Clark fans and some Indiana fans that are a little bit more real. But what type of acknowledgement is it that y'all want? You don't want them all to just have this big meeting and come together and just kiss her ass? Like, thank her. We thank you so much, Caitlin Clark. We thank you so much for coming in and bringing all these bumpkins to come and watch, right? Is that what you want? Then would you be happy? Because I don't understand. I don't get the point y'all be trying to make with that. I don't understand it. And then number two, like, as far as making money off of the business, they haven't made a profit even last year with Caitlin Clark. They don't expect to make a profit for a while. Don't you know that the actual NBA had Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and guys like that, and they weren't making a profit for years, right? This is actually a relatively new league if you look at it compared to, like, the NFL, the NBA, and other organizations like that, right? They're making a money thing. They ain't gonna make no money this year. That's something they got to project to do. The start of it is you get these contracts, right? With the TV. They haven't had a television contract since damn near the early 2000s, right? So this is just kind of a step forward. And no, without a doubt, the eyes Caitlin Clark is bringing is part of it. But, like, what do you expect the players to do? That's the part I don't get. Like, what part do you expect these players to play in that? Like, and Caitlin Clark herself should be showing up trying to get all of that, because that affects the money she's going to get, right? She's just like the rest of the players when it comes to that. And, like, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. Like, I done heard coming from y'all side stuff about, first of all, if y'all don't get your way, y'all going to stop watching. And this is another reason why I don't even think they're going to take y'all side that serious like that. You know what I mean? Because y'all not about, y'all want Caitlin Clark to be acknowledged in some type of way by players or whatever in the league as for growing the game. When in really the reality of what it is, all right, it brought in more fans, but those fans, the nature of those fans are people who couldn't care less about the league. Like let's be for real. The majority of the video, like your video, you going in on the league, bro. I'm listening to Ben Day. All he do is sit there and talk crap about the league. This joker, he had the nerve to say last year was the first year of the WNBA. That's what he said. Last year, that's really the first year of the WNBA. Like, the hell with everything Breonna Stewart did before, Agent Wilson did, Cheryl Swoops did, Maya Moore, who Caitlin Clark practically worships. The hell with all of them. This is this type of time he was on, right? Also, he's one of the people leading the charges for, just because Caitlin Clark wasn't on the Olympic team. For a number of reasons, she ain't make it. You know, among them, she ain't been around. She just was playing in college. She couldn't even make it to the trials. There was a number of reasons why she didn't, right? Besides, what I would say was she didn't deserve to be there, because her game ain't there yet, to me. But for y'all who think her game is there and all of that, whatever. Y'all were talking about, or that segment of the fan base, talking about boycotting the damn Olympics and not watching. So I'm saying, if I'm a businessman, why would I want to invest in a fickle ass fan base like that? That's only watching one player. And I'm trying to grow a league. If Josh Harris decides, because Josh Harris is the one that's going to pay for like a league and paying for a team in Philly, he's not going to have Caitlin Clark, right? So why would he want to invest in something that's only going to be where the new eyes is only for that one player, right? He wants people to watch his team. Everybody else wants their people watching their team. So Caitlin Clark has got to be part of the growth. Like, if you're serious about the league, she can't be the whole damn thing of the growth. That's stupid. Especially if you're talking about a fan base that doesn't watch anyone else. Like, that's dumb. You can't build a business model behind that. Like, so I just don't even get the point. Caitlin Clark can't play every game. She can only play for one team. Like, so what point are you trying to make? I don't understand. Kiss her ass for what? For bringing a bunch of eyes to the fever? That's just not even, that's not even logical. Hold on, who this, man? Look, if y'all come in here with this dumb shit, I'm bouncing you, bro. I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. C-Man says, y'all ain't got no content. Angel ain't played since Sunday, so y'all been making videos. Man, fuck you, man. How about that? How about that? The hell out of here, dude. I ain't anybody talking to you. I'm talking, and I really clearly described who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Caitlin Clark content creators here. This is what this is about, who are out here with this new narrative about these players need to go and just do this. I don't know what y'all want. This big acknowledgement. Thank you, Caitlin Clark, for making us popular and all of that. This unrealistic crap that ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Steady serving, my man, Steady Serving Sports, my man, bro guy, check the pro Claude. I'm sorry, sorry. Yeah, check him out, man. Steady Serving Sports channel where truth definitely be spoken over there. Says they won't be around in a couple of years cheering her because she's going to be overwhelmed with her new, stronger, and better talent. That is very possible. That's very possible. That's the thing I'm interested in too. Like, how do you expect like an entity like the WNBA to pour everything into one player when one player can, number one, not be healthy enough? One player, what happens when that one player is hurt now? So what do you just go back to, like y'all would say, go back to irrelevancy and all that kind of stuff? Because y'all think the only ones that matter is y'all watching, which that ain't the case. Because guess what? Because you know what is happening? The WNBA, honestly, for real, if y'all like listen to people who've been watching before y'all, like Cess Talk Sports does a good job of this. Queen Love Sports, support both of those sisters, both of them. They have been talking about the W for a while, and they've been watching since its inception. And they're saying that there's been steady growth anyway, with or without Caitlin Clark. There's been steady growth. Of course, with the influx of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark coming in, there was like this big jump in viewership, of course, because they came on the backs of, the championship game, which was the most watched championship game ever, right? So there was like a jump. But the sustainable part of it all has to be the steady growth that's happening. Everything about even the chartered flights and all of that was being worked on anyway. Like y'all think that there was no chartered flights one day. Then all of a sudden, oh, Caitlin Clark is here. Oh shit, all of a sudden, let's get chartered flights in a couple. It doesn't work that way. The chartered flights was a process that had to be done over a period of a couple of years anyway, because you got to put in for it. There's negotiations. There's a whole lot of things that happen that were already in place. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming sped it up because people realize, oh man, you can't allow like a person like that who's a Nike client and these types of things to be like, out in the open at regular airports to get smothered and stuff like that, right? So it sped it up, yeah. But y'all act like she the whole reason for it. No, they were going to get that stuff anyway, bro. That was going to happen anyway. right? There was going to be there was a steady growth anyway. These are things that like you can readily find. But what I suggest is you go listen to people, not even like me. I'm not even telling you to listen to me. I'm telling you to go listen to a lot of these sisters and a lot of these others who've been covering the WNBA before Caitlin Clark. They just been covering the NBA, the WNBA. Me, I was brought in by Flaugier and Angel Reese. I knew them before I heard of Caitlin Clark, actually. I heard of Caitlin Clark. The first time I heard of Caitlin Clark, honestly, was a Puerto Rican boy at my job was just coming in telling me, yo, man, this is girl Caitlin Clark, shooting like, play like Steph Curry, right? That's what I heard. That's literally the first time I ever heard of that. I heard of like Flaugier because she was the young girl that was on America's Got Talent, right? So my daughters and them knew about her and the rapping and all that kind of stuff and the story behind her dad, right? So she got to, when her and Angel Reese ended up at LSU, that's when I started to find out. Like, I don't know. I know all of y'all think it's all Caitlin Clark, but no, we all got different stories how we got here. All right. And then I started to pay attention to Caitlin Clark when I started watching different YouTube videos and stuff like that and reading the comment section where I was going back and forth with different people who were telling me straight up, this is the greatest women's basketball player I've ever seen all time and all that. I'm asking questions like, really? She better than Cheryl Miller? I'm like, she better than Cynthia Cooper. Hey, look, I've seen Miller, I've seen Schwoops, I've seen all of them. None of them are as good as this girl. So I'm like, damn, I got to watch this girl, right? So that's what I started watching. And I mean, I was like, all right, she could play. You know what I mean? When I first watched her, I think it was probably the Elite 8 game, probably against UConn or something like that a couple years ago. And I heard of Paige Beckers already because Paige Beckers' like name was in Sports Illustrated and different things like that going back. I already heard of Beckers, but I didn't watch her either. I just didn't watch. I don't watch high school girls, and you know what I mean. So, but that's when I started looking into it. Now, when a dude like me looks into it, I really look into it. You know what I mean? And like y'all have no idea how many times I find old footage, old Caitlin Clark stuff, and I study your game down to the last common denominator. I will watch over and over and over. Like I get obsessed. Like before I give an opinion on a player. So they talking all this shit about Caitlin Clark. So I really went in on her game. I really watched. How does she react when she's in this situation? What does she do when she's in that situation? She got the ball up top, what does she do? If she on the wing, what can she do? Like passing, defense. I studied everything before I even opened my mouth about her on a video. So that's why like y'all dudes can't really like refute me well. You know what I mean? Because I got her whole game down. Like I really do. But the point is, y'all dudes is going out real sad, man. Let me see what y'all talking about. What Pace and Land talking about, man? I know Pace and Land be talking crazy. Said they want everybody to bow down, bask in her glory. Anything less than that is disrespect. Exactly. They be tripping, man. They got charter flights, but that stuff costs money. Yeah. That business model doesn't work for Land. You are right. What are the other 12 teams supposed to do? Tell their fan base to just watch fever games? Exactly. Steady service sports entertainment. Were you in the movie Sinners? All right. Pastor, you're a bitch. All right. That's what you are. You wouldn't say none of that to my face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to a place that we call Troll Heaven. Right? Because you're probably a Christian. You believe in heaven, right? So I'm going to see you places called Troll Heaven. I'm not even going to give you a timeout. I'm going to send you straight there. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200. Let me see. Henry T. Hurley Jr., New York Liberty owner, allowed the team to use charter plane in 2022 and was fined $500,000. They have the money. Damn. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds crazy. Paige Beckers, the Wings Mystics are great to watch. These young players are balling. Facts. I enjoy it right now. I enjoyed last year. See, me, I hadn't watched women's basketball regularly since the Maya Moore, Candace Parker, them era. Like this is, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When the WNBA first came out in 1997, there was a lot of excitement about it. But part of what helped them was they had the NBC contract, that the NBA was using. So when the NBA was done, then the WNBA came about, and you had that NBC contract, same NBC music there, Peter Vesey there, and all the people in there. Cheryl Miller was like talking. It was a really good event. So I was watching, and I was really into, of course, obviously the Houston Comets. The New York Liberty were a good team back then, but I'm sorry, I don't cheer anything New York. Sorry, I just can't. I just don't cheer anything New York. Okay, I got too many bad memories with Giants, with Mets, with freaking Knicks, all of them. So I don't cheer anything. So, but I like Teaspoon. I like Lobo. I just remember the Liberty and the Comets going at it in them finals and stuff like that. I remember that. I remember Cynthia Cooper having the biggest impression on me, and so did Cheryl Swoops. They was like Pippen and Jordan, female version of me, right? So that's why, like, I defend Cheryl Swoops very viciously, aggressively, because I seen her, right? She was like the first Cheryl Swoops. I remember watching her championship game when she was at Texas Tech against I forgot what the damn team they played. You know what I mean? And I remember her scoring 47, right? That was like the first one. I was like, yo, they're pumping her up to beat a Jordan and all that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah. But then I ain't gonna lie, when they lost that contract, I didn't keep up as much. I got back to it watching when Candace Parker came about, and then when Maya Moore came about, because I remember seeing their finals. And Maya Moore, I ain't gonna lie, like, that's the best women's basketball player as a guard that I saw. Right, best big might be Candace, might be Asia, might be Tina Thompson or Lisa Leslie, but as far as guards, Maya Moore the best. Like Caitlin Clark, we agree on that one. That damn Maya Moore boy, and all of y'all out here talking about they didn't ball like that. Listen, man, Simone Augustus and Maya Moore and them, bro, they would be the best two players in the league right now if they played, bro. Like 2015 wasn't that long ago. Like, y'all dudes be just tripping. Some of the stuff y'all be saying. Some of the stuff y'all say, y'all be tripping, man. Y'all be tripping. Nubian Sage, Page Brackets, right. Henry T. Hurley Jr. says, the question that should be asked is how can they afford to pay a coach $1 million, but the player only make 1/4 of that? Yeah. I'm sure these are all the things they got to work out, man. And hopefully, they at least get that money up. The top players should at least be getting $1 million. Like Asia should get $1 million. Caitlin Clark, when her time comes up, she should get $1 million. Paige, Angel, like the top players, when their rookie contract is up, they should be getting about $1 million. Keep division, stop it. Charter flights went from the works to them seeing CC was too big to be on a regular flight. Stop this. What do you mean capping, dumbass? I told you. They were already working. They were already in the works. I said when CC and Angel Reese came, right, then they sped it up, right? Don't come in here with the dumb stuff, bro. Or listen, take the wax out your ears. If you need some Q-tips, use them. Right? Nobody coming here to cap and all that kind of stuff, man. Like, I look all this stuff up before I talk. Keep division, steady growth, laughing my fucking ass off. All right, go laugh over there somewhere else then. Get your dumb ass out of here. But I'll put you in timeout. It's just, you're going to be so timed out that you won't be able to talk until I'm done. But I don't have time for that laughing my ass off. Nigga, who you? Something so funny, go laugh over there. Emmanuel Hamilton. That hat belongs in the garbage bin, mate. Would you a Cowboy fan or Giants fan or something? Stay on topic, dude. I'm talking about my hat, boy. This is the best football team you ever seen, boy. You better learn something. College basketball is making money, so it's obvious that the WNBA should make money now. Facts. Queen Melissa Lehman says, hey, Queen Melissa, how are you? Emmanuel Hamilton says, I'd rather watch Caitlin Clark than a whole team of them. Yeah, I know, of course. That's your business. Keep Division is one of the sellout CC channels. I know. Yep, I agree. Steady Serving Sports, my brother says, Asia had to be separated after the first MVP. She talks about it in her early videos, brother. They capping. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Asia definitely got to be on charter flights. She's very popular. B. Bicklum says, there's power in unity. We are here. All right. I'm with that. Cut the Ish Real Talk Sports says, go watch her training videos. Then Emmanuel says that's the only person you want to watch. Pacerland says, to be 100%, they do need to thank her. Bro, when she out, 50% viewership went down. All right, okay. Let me ask you, right? So, who should thank her? Aja Wilson? Because 50% viewership goes down when Caitlin Clark ain't there. So Aja Wilson should thank Caitlin Clark for playing. Does that make sense? Or should we just acknowledge that they just got a real casual cult fan base? That's it. Like me personally, if I'm putting together a business model, I wouldn't, what'd you call that, gravitate towards that fan base personally. I wouldn't, right? I wouldn't, because that's a cult that does that. I'm only going to watch what Caitlin Clark is playing, as if she is like doing something other players aren't doing. What the fuck is she doing other players aren't doing? You know what I mean? It's stupid. If that's the case, right? You just let that happen when that benefits the Fever. Doesn't benefit anybody else. So why should that have like an Aja Wilson thanking Caitlin Clark? Oh, we thank you because all those damn cult members are watching the Fever. Does that make sense? It ain't got nothing to do with the Aces. So what should she care for? G8 says, keep the vision at Clark has been exposed all season long. Your channel will die soon. Cut the Ish Real Talk Sports. No player needs to thank anyone. Keep the vision. And Aces players should be thanking a Fever player for viewership. That type of sad crap is yeah, exactly. Keep the vision. I never got through a whole Keep the Vision video. I don't know. I kind of turn it on, give it 2-3 minutes. When I see where we going, I'll be out. I hate to see a black man doing that. It's something with that just bothers me. So I'll be out. Not that it's a black and white thing, but it's just something about it. Nubian Sage 1. I don't even watch the Fever. I like the Sky, Mystics, Wings, Sparks, Suns. I love these new young rookies. Same with me, bro. Irving Paul says, you don't get it. Caitlin Clark played basketball in front of 55,000 plus at a football stadium while still at college. You must be special to achieve that. That's fine that Caitlin Clark is special. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. What does that mean, though? What does that have to do with the topic at hand? Right? Like, I don't care how special you are, you need opponents and you need teammates. Right? If the opponents and the teammates just decide that they're going to hold out because one person is being treated differently from everyone else, you don't have a league, right? She needs a league to play in. She's not by herself going to generate anything. If not, then maybe Caitlin Clark could just be a comedian and y'all would just watch that. Maybe she should just start her own food channel and eat crabs and y'all will watch that. I don't know. Y'all motherfuckers are weird, right? So, but that doesn't, the point is, whatever it is, just watching Caitlin Clark. Some of y'all probably rather watch her take a shit than watch basketball, like other players. I get it, right? But the point is, what does that have to do with growing a league? What does that have to do with growing a league? Eagles fan, or just love his hat. Hats like me. You ask me, am I an Eagles fan? That's Philadelphia right there. That's Philadelphia right there. Everywhere I look, that's Philadelphia. So you can figure that out. Tim Johnson says, Fulan, a lot of people ain't even women's b-ball fans. They are player fans. If you have a women's college b-ball fan, there's no way you could have not known who CC was. Yeah, it is a way I cannot know who CC is. Right? It is a way. I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about when you say that. That's Iowa. And let's say I watch Villanova, right? Because those usually the teams I keep up with in the male side. That's Villanova. I watch Villanova. I would know when they play Caitlin Clark, but unless she does something that stands out to me personally, I don't know her like that where I'm a follower. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And everybody's not the same as everybody else. Everybody don't feed into hype trains. Like, I'm just not the type of person that feeds into hype trains. So, I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I knew of Angel Reese and Flaugier before Caitlin Clark. Unbelievable to you? Oh well, But that's what I'm telling you happened. Antoine Baker. When her game is falling, the Clarkies will automatically go to viewership talk. Facts. Absolute facts. That is real talk sports. Nothing wrong with whatever arena they were in. Keep division. Why does a player need to get on their knees to their opponent? Are you Lulu? Pagerland. I don't talk crazy. I talk facts. And you go all these other Clark. Said CC is an idea. That's interesting. Cut this real quick. You go thank her, keep division. Please go live as you bend down and kiss the ring. You are her fan. Give her all the love she needs. Yeah, exactly. What happened to keep division? Is his messages deleted? I don't really see his messages. KTV, then practice facility started getting built under Asia watch, not the player. Antoine Baker's Aces and Liberty got fined because they already had chartered flights. Pacerland says, you still ain't watched the video I told you to watch. No, I didn't watch your video because I already knew the story, Pacerland. I already know what happened. And what I said, like I told you, it didn't make any damn sense. All right, the video, I'm sure what you're showing is the supposed truth of Haley Van Lith saying, well, Caitlin Clark was just doing like this to the strength and conditioning coach, right? That's what was said, because I could guess what was on the video, right? Okay. Let me explain something to you about basketball and sports, right? Let's say me and you were playing against each other, right? And I dunk on your ass, right? And I don't look at you, and I look at the crowd and go, ah! After dunking on you, right? Guess what? That was towards you. It's not towards the crowd. You get that? Okay. That's the way that works, right? So even if Caitlin Clark did like this to the strength and conditioning coach, it was about Haley, right? That's the thing. You understand? Okay. So there's a to you and about you. Okay, K Pacerland, that's the way that works. So it doesn't really matter if it was towards the strength and conditioning coach. It's still mocking this one over here who I just did something to. I just came back from an anti-BLM protest. All right, good. So you came back from an anti-BLM protest, right? Which is something I don't care about, to only get put in what is called troll heaven. I'm sure you like heaven, right? You read about it, right? This is a place called troll heaven. I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8 38s. Okay. Good. You can take that with you to troll heaven. You might need it there. Yep. Take them right with you to troll heaven. Wody Mac on all platforms says, honest question. If it can't be described or explained, what makes the Clark YouTube channels on the whole sellouts? Is it just a generation of a few bad apples? No, all Clarkies are sellouts. Most of them aren't sellouts. A lot of them are good guys. Sellout, you have to do a little bit more than just support Caitlin Clark to be a sellout. Typically, a sellout to me is someone that if you show this consistent trait, where I'm consistently just glazing and praising Caitlin Clark constantly, right? While at the same time, what I'm doing is I'm diminishing everyone else, including their teammates, as well as all the players, and in particular, the greats that came before, by saying Caitlin Clark is better and all of that kind of stuff without sufficient research and without watching, without having that foreknowledge. And then there's usually what bothers me more than anything is when there are others in the Caitlin Clark community or whatever, who clearly have like racist messages and racist undertones and stuff like that, and then you as a Clarkie support them or you don't check them, that's when you start to become more of like a sellout to me. It just like a Caitlin Clark don't make you a sellout, or just support Caitlin Clark don't make you a sellout, right? But if all of a sudden now, you'll say criticize the way Angel Reese dresses, for example, but then you see Sophie Cunningham be like, oh man, she is bad, whoa, shit, stuff like that. That's sellout shit. I hope that's clear. All right, Jay Speak says Showtime cooked Courtside Junkie last week. Yeah, I saw that. Me and Courtside are okay. It's just that we disagree on some things and we be having to hash these things out. Like I don't believe he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's just that I really didn't like that last video. I didn't like that. Canella says every team has a player that goes down and ratings go with them. The thing is, CC popularity is just way bigger than all other players. That's fair, Canella. That's fair. She's popular as hell, no doubt about it. Dr. Malik Rahim says, good afternoon, sir. I love your analysis of the game. Keep doing a great job. Appreciate that, Dr. Malik. Mr. Delaware says, Irving Paul, that's because Reese helped with that. On another note, we are going to become temporary enemies when my Bears go to play your Eagles. Laugh out loud. Eagles and Bears aren't enemies. Eagles and Bears are just, Now, Eagles and Cowboys are enemies. Bears and Packers are enemies, right? There's a difference. Bears and Vikings are enemies, right? Eagles and Redskins, all right? Not Commanders, Redskins are enemies, right? So it's all different. Bears and Eagles, we just got to play each other. And, of course, Eagles, we probably win by about 30, But sometimes y'all put on good defensive outputs, It all depends how the Eagles feel that day. If the Eagles feel like blowing you out, probably blow you out. If we just feel like, we just got to get out of here with a win, we'll just do that. So, it can be stupid, but it's facts. So, where she said we should thank her before she was on the team. I don't care what Sophie said. What the hell's going on? Are you serious? Henry T. Hurley Jr. says, these cats must be infatuated with watching The Godfather. Who they think she is, Michael Corleone. Yeah, exactly. Clyde says, she played on a team where she had to put up crazy numbers to keep her team competitive, and it got the media attention, so they pushed her. Why is this so hard to understand? It's not hard to understand. Media did push her, and those what you say is factually there, right there. Moon Man, life wasn't good to me. No job, no money. Mom called me loser. Then I started snitching on my whole neighborhood. Life becomes great and money flows. Grandpa, all right. I'm gonna ignore you. I'm not gonna see you troll heaven yet. But if you continue with these types of messages, that's what I'm gonna have to do, man. She should start a food channel eating crabs. Yeah, I agree. I mean, in the NBA, I'm not watching anything that doesn't have Steph Curry in it. So for me, it's W/E. All right. Well, I guess that's the day. This is the time we in, man. Some people just watch one player and that's what they do. The Clarkies want her to set up a bum league with rigged refs so she can freely chunk up her little ill-advised three-pointers. That's funny. I wish I could pin that. The Clarkies want her to set up a bum league with rigged refs so she can freely chunk up her ill-advised three-pointers. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, man. So, Canal says to somebody, yes, you are. You feed into the hate. Are you talking to me? You feed into the hate CC hype train, but you act like you don't. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't hate CC, but her fans. It's always the same shit they say. Well, that's the truth. And let me explain how that works, right? Caitlin Clark is just a basketball player that goes every day, goes out and plays, lives up her contract. She's a 23-year-old girl who just, I don't know personally, right? Right? So to hate her really is illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. The things I don't like are untrue things. Like, she's the greatest basketball player of all time. She's better than everybody played before her. She's this and she's that. Those are the things I hate because they're untrue statements. Those untrue statements come from her fans, right? So that's where, you hate the fans and not necessarily hate the player. Like, it would be illogical for me to hate Caitlin Clark. She didn't do anything to me, and she didn't say anything to me for me to not like her, right? You get that? Like, you can think I do dislike her. That's your problem, right? I'm not going to try to convince you that ain't the case, but I will tell you that what you're saying don't make no damn sense. That I'll tell you. K Stone says, hey, Fulan, that Keep the Vision is a big-time CC Glazing account. He and his yuck mouth buddies can't help themselves. One player can't make a league. Supporting CC alone is not going to grow the league. Absolutely agree. Tulip plays. I was wondering where you was at, Tulip. You finally here? Or you probably been here, but I'm just finally getting to your comment. I knew somebody was getting some of these people out of here. That must have been you. Pretty Ugly says, what's up? What's good, Fulan? Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. Mina Hassam says, favorite dinosaur. Because your name is Mina Hassam and I like your name, I'm not going to treat you like a troll. How about that? Because I like your name. Rico Rogers says, Fulan, these tap dances are crazy. Yes, they are. But I get it, though, man. You Glazing CC, bro. Your channel will grow and blow. I get it. Paul Price says, I like watching every game, but CC is not my favorite player. I like every other player. CC a good player, but she's not my favorite one. I like Angel Reese, Wilson, and other players. Yep, that's how it is with me. And for real, I get why CC's entertaining. I think she's entertaining just like James Harden was. If you remember James Harden's, that run he was on, where he was winning MVPs and stuff like that, James Harden had a season where he averaged like 36 points, damn near 10 assists, rebounds. During that run, he had a 60-point triple-double one time, like 62, 15, 11. He was the best show in the league during that Houston run at times, But I hated his game. Why? Because I knew in the end, unless he could find a way to keep that up, he wouldn't. One of the flaws I saw in what Harden was doing was he relied too much on the three-point shot, which by its very nature is not a reliable shot, especially, the step-back nature of it. I knew they were going to get more physical with him in the playoffs. I know that transition buckets, just transition game, isn't really playoff basketball. It's going to get slowed down. You're going to have to really execute. You're going to have to really use IQ. Also knew James Harden was not a strong defensive player. And I also knew that he relied too much on getting to the free throw line. Right? So I could already, if you would watch my videos back then, I'd already told you James Harden, he ain't going, I'd have been against the world. Everybody telling me James Harden is all that. Remember, James Harden was putting up crazy numbers that they were actually having segments on ESPN asking whether or not he's better than Michael Jordan. This happened, right, for James Harden. I was the one of the people saying, no, I'm telling you, I don't like his game. It's not a winning game. And I found myself in the same situation with Caitlin Clark. Now, can it change? I think so, yeah. But I got to give you my honest opinion. I don't think her game translates to championships. She can prove me wrong, and then I'm going to come on here and tip the cap. I'll kiss the ring myself if I'm proven wrong about that. So speaking of sellouts, what happened to the Las Vegas Aces? Yeah, I had a whole video talking about the Aces yesterday, man. Aces looking really bad, bro. I don't know. Looking really bad. Aces looking really bad. It's looking like that game against the Fever, it looked like AJ Wilson and a bunch of bums. Jackie Young, who I love, man, who I've been coming on here saying was the best non-big in the league. Ain't looking like it. Jackie been pretty bad. Jackie been pretty bad, man. Not even stopping people on defense. Just, I don't know what's up with that. And I also been one of the main people in here coming in here saying her and Jewel Lloyd will end up being the best 2-3 combo. I'm looking like an idiot with that shit. I don't know what to say. Jewel Lloyd's been a big disappointment. I don't get why. Jackie Young not being Jackie Young. I don't know why that team isn't better. I know they don't have a great big, but is that it? Really? You got Chelsea Gray, you got Jackie Young, you got Jewel Lloyd, Asia Wilson. What's the problem? I don't know. Are they getting old? Maybe. I don't know. Are they not hungry anymore? Maybe. I don't know. But I did talk about it. The Aces went in on them, you know. Pretty Yogi says, a lot of these CC channels are not even fans of her. They're just following her to profit. I agree with that. Yep. Tom Johnson Flan, listen, the point I was making was this. I'm a college women's b-ball fan. I knew of AR and CC. I knew of all the top players and even some of the non-stars. Yeah, I got you, Tim. You probably are more of a college women's basketball fan than I am, right? I'll give you that. Well, especially a couple years ago. I wasn't really a couple years ago that big. Last year, I was on it, big time. But yeah, I'm not, you know, anyone who follows the channel, no, I never proclaimed to be this big women's sports person, right? I didn't get the value of them. I started watching, I just watched Serena Williams and Venus, right? But that's pretty much it. But I've just discovered that women's basketball is a good product, right? That's what I've just discovered over the last couple of years. And now I talk about it, okay? There is some elements of it that I like better than the NBA. I'm not saying I like it better than NBA totally. I think NBA playoff basketball is the best basketball you'll find anywhere. NBA playoff basketball. NBA regular season basketball on random Wednesday nights when just two mediocre teams play is shit to me. It's just a bunch of three-pointers in the first round. And the first half is nothing but a three-point contest. Then you get to the third round where they start to try to play defense, and then you'll get a good fourth quarter. That's the average NBA game, and I don't like it. Whereas WNBA games, I feel there's competitiveness, there's drive, there's we're going to get at each other for 40 minutes. Even though there's no slam dunks and all those things that make NBA basketball unique, right? But I like passion. I like real emotion. I like all those things, and I think the women's game provides those things regularly. Okay, so I'm just getting into that, and really, I'm new to a lot of it, right? I don't come on here, so like I get names wrong, all of that. Y'all can tell, right? And I don't really care about the jerks that come on and you ain't say this name right or that, whatever, you know. Man, look, I ain't worried about that shit, right? As time goes on, we'll get it all, right? I'm going team by team, player by player, I'm learning them, right? Y'all don't understand the amount of time I put into when I focus on a player. I put a lot of time into getting to know that player. Like so Jackie Young, I went and I watched a lot of shit. I'll go back and watch rookie Jackie Young. I went back to Notre Dame, watch Notre Dame Jackie Young. I'm watching the finals game. Like I'm watching whole 3-hour fucking games and all that shit. So when I come and I talk about Jackie Young and I say she's this or that, it's after a lot of film I really will watch before I'll give you that. Like I don't talk inside my ass without watching the player. But because I put so much time into that, when I focus on the player, I don't know every player right away. That will happen over time, right? It's just what it is. All right. Let me get to some of y'all what y'all said. I don't mean to be like ignoring anybody, you know. John, name one professional that wins every year. I guess you're talking to one of the brothers in the chat. All right. K-Stone says Courtside is horrible. Him and that Pope Frank guy did a video where they call Angel every name in the book. I mean, horrible, disgusting names to a young 22. That's sad if that's true. Because Courtside Junkie is a dude, I don't dislike him. You know what I mean? But would you say it's true? That's sad if he did that. If they had a video doing that, calling the Angel. I know he allows a lot of that stuff. Like, I never personally heard him say anything disparaging about Angel, but I know he allows others to come and do that. And that is disappointing. Pageland 317 says, yes, I thought you answered like that. None of us are sellouts. We just fans. You guys just listen to all these trolls. It all comes down because the She white, the Eminem effect, I defend him too. Let me read that again slowly so I can try to understand what you're saying. First of all, Pacerland, I didn't know if you were black or white. I'm assuming you must be black now because of the way you're talking, right? Y'all have this guilt about shit y'all do, I guess, right? So let me go slowly here. Yes, I thought you would answer like that. None of us are sellouts. What do you mean none of you are sellouts? No, some of you are sellouts. No, I'm not saying everybody, but no, some of you are. Yeah. We just fans. No, when you start saying shit like you want to criticize when some of you want to criticize Angel Reese for the way she dressed, but then you'll turn around and praise Sophie Cunningham for the same shit. No, that's bullshit. That's hypocritical shit. And those are the traits of a sellout person. That's what it is. And we know why. I don't want to get into this whole conversation about, the black man and the black woman, the history we got. I don't want to get into all of that. Okay? But you should know. You grew up in a black house, black parents, listen to black music, watch black TV shows, and just listen to black scholars, like, you would fucking know. Like, I don't know. But each of us are raised differently. I can't assume the same. Some of y'all might have grew up listening to Thomas Sowell, whereas I might have listened to Cornel West. So you might look at things differently, right? It's all about how you raised. I get it, I guess, when it comes to some of that. You guys just listen to all these trolls. Right, exactly. Most of the time when I'm making videos, I'm directing it at the trolls. Like, if you're not a troll, why would it be directed at you? What gets me is if I'm coming at a troll person, right? Let's say you're a CC fan and you ain't into all of that. You don't do none of that, sellouts, you don't do none of that, right? But if I'm coming at the sellouts or whatever, why do you get offended if you ain't into that? Why do you defend them? That's the part I don't get. If you ain't got nothing to do with it, it shouldn't bother you. It should go right over your head and not bother you at all. I don't get it. Like, there's some Angel Reese fans that might go too far in the opinion of some people. But if someone goes at them, I don't feel no kind of way, because if I didn't do that or say that or whatever, why would it bother me? Right? That's between you and that person. And y'all got to work that out. Alexander the Great 501 says, well, what do we have here? All right, so that's your first comment, right? I'm going to keep an eye on you to see if you're being passive-aggressive or if you're being sincere. Alex S. says, Wakanda forever. And then he put up some monkey things here. All right, so that's a racist, punk-ass, bitch-ass nigga. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide you from the channel, which is a mercy to you. Because if I ever saw you in real life... All right, so Reese from Philly says, nobody keeps it real about CC. She should leave and let the league die. All right, Reese. Reese, you still on that, bruh? You the boy from Camden. You still on that bullshit? Didn't I tell you to go watch Paige Beckers and go watch some of these other ladies, man? I know you still watching them damn. I know what your problem is. You still watching them damn highlights and not really watching the game. And you should be ashamed of yourself because you're a boy that can ball. If you can ball, you know damn well you're not going to learn about no players from no fucking highlights. Come on, Reese. You got to do better, bruh. Pacerland 317 says, I got to get ready for this Fever game tonight. But good talking to you live. Have a great weekend, bro. Same to you, Pacerland. Have a great weekend. I might watch the Fever game. I don't know. Might not. I don't know. We'll see. Jared Beer's channel, exactly, our fans are the problem. Our fans are the ones I'm talking to, right? Now, I ain't gonna lie, I do some things, but some stuff y'all gotta understand is part of the content creating world, right? Like, for example, my last video about Caitlin Clark, I said Coach Killer Caitlin, right? Part of that is that's a little bit of clickbait. That's a little bit of clickbait. That's to get y'all to kind of get a little, and then come in, right? This is the deal with Caitlin Clark. I'm not of the opinion yet that she's a coach killer. I'm not of that opinion yet. However, I'm starting to wonder if she might be a coach killer, right? Because you got the first year, You got the coach. Coach fired. Okay. And before y'all try to say Angel Reese and Teaspoon, no. We know Teaspoon and Angel Reese love each other. We know that. He's that unrivaled hugging and all that. Angel Reese puts out a whole tweet, okay, about how sad she was about Teaspoon getting fired, all that. We know that ain't the same type of situation. With Caitlin Clark and Chrissy Sides, we knew there was some, okay, there was some little button heads, all right? Now, this year, according to Caitlin Clark fans, there's button heads between Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. The only difference is y'all want Caitlin Clark to just go along with whatever Stephanie. No, y'all want Stephanie White to just let Caitlin Clark do whatever. That's the difference. Y'all don't want her to be coach. Y'all want her to do whatever. But there's been some, look like little signs of headbutting. And now what's happening is Caitlin Clark is out. Stephanie White got their team rolling, beating real teams now. They ain't just beating on bums. They done beat the Mystics and beat the Aces. I don't just say what you want about the Aces. That's still Aja Wilson out there. That's still Jackie Young out there. That's still Chelsea out there. That's still Drew Lloyd out there, right? That's still the same team that walked y'all asses down like a couple weeks ago or whatever when Caitlin was out there, right? Come on there, you beat their ass without Caitlin Clark. I mean, beat their ass without Caitlin Clark. I mean, beat their mother effing ass without Caitlin Clark. Hey, man. Hey, I don't know. All I'm saying is, if she come back and y'all got to rock the boat a whole lot and play all different because she back, who y'all going to be with? Y'all gonna be with Caitlin, or y'all gonna be with Stephanie White? I'm just having me a whole bucket of popcorn like this. I want to see that one. I want to see that one. That's pretty what I was getting at. But me calling her Coach Killer, there's a little bit of clickbait. But you gotta understand, in this business of doing these videos, you gotta do a little bit of that. You gotta do a little bit. I'm gonna be real. TJ says the league was here before CC. The league will be here after CC. Exactly, sir. That's the reality of the matter. Yep. Superfly says, dude looks like Pedro Martinez. I can't even tell what you look like because you're too much of a bitch to show your face. Why don't you show your face, bitch? Jared Bear's channel says, they know nothing except about the league or players except one team. Exactly. TY1 Eagle says, can't keep comparing these young players. Why not? Why can't you? GOT the ADHD says, CC is Jordan. Okay. Jordan. Pretty Ugly says, at Reese from Philly, why would it die if she suddenly left? It was operating for decades without CC. It ain't suddenly going to die if she left. Plus Paige, Angel, and Juju will keep it going. Exactly. Exactly. Class Kai says there's no reason to thank her because it's not her fault. And there's no reason to thank her because she didn't make all this happen on her own or for the other one. Exactly. Wilson is still a beast. Says CC's nothing like Jordan. She ain't even Super to Tarazi. She Jordan. Antoine Baker says, what team has won a championship playing that fast transition ball? You got to be able to switch it up. PG Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. That's troll stuff, but that's actually funny. Maybe it's Maybelline. That's actually funny. So if you come in here trolling, right, but would you say it's actually funny, I won't send you to troll heaven. So Jordan had 260 plus turnovers. Y'all going there. Y'all going there. Steady Service Sports Entertainment still here. Inside troubles will always take your team out. Becky got to go. Think so, Steady Service Sports? Is Becky the problem? I don't know. Pretty soon they keep it, but I don't know. Becky did a lot of good, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm there yet, but it's interesting. Yep. Been in women's sports, D.D. Saracen says, been a women's sports fan for 20 years. NBA haven't watched in the last 20 years. You haven't watched NBA in 20 years? Really? Wow. 20 years? Goodness gracious. Steady service sports entertainment. Becky has lost the locker room last year. Her loyal circle are now breaking in the midst of things. I hope they pull it together. Damn, for real? Yeah, I hope so too, bro. I need to look into that stuff though. See what's happening with the Aces. Something's going on for sure. Jack, respect, bro. This world needs honest people like you. Appreciate the compliment. Jared Thomas says, Fulan, I theorized to J-Trap Zero that when CC fans say that Reese brought the hate on herself, that is actually the opposite, and that CC fans brought the hate on Reese because they always go after winners. Yeah, that was always ridiculous. Somebody brings the hate on themselves. Bro, you ain't got to hate nobody. You ain't got to care about nobody, right? Like this whole idea that because Angel Reese, I don't know, whatever, mock Caitlin Clark or whatever, or because she's on her Instagram doing what damn near half the 23, 22-year-olds in the world do, or whatever, that this is bringing hate on herself or attention on herself. And then this is the thing that gets me, some of these dudes, some of these like cooning dudes be saying, like, I don't want her saying she's been sexualized, you know, if she's like dressed a certain way or whatever. Like, bruh, what are we talking about, man? Now listen, if this was like a different type of society, I can accept that. I could accept that. But I can't accept that in America, bro. In America, there's no dress code, man. Like, I'm right here in Philadelphia right now on a hot day. I'm looking outside. I see white girls with shorts up their ass. I see black girls with shorts up their ass. Indians, whatever. Everybody. When it's hot, you got shorts up their ass. Okay? Bras, short sleeve shirts, whatever. Bro, if you were Saudi Arabia, all right, maybe, right? Because it's different. Like the idea of what's like, the cultural idea of what's modest is completely different. Here in America, like, you're supposed to have this, like, see it as normal and have this self-control. You shouldn't be jumping on women who just outside with shorts on and then saying it's their damn fault because they wearing the shorts. Like, what are we talking about? Like, when is that the case? When is that even logical, bro? You have control over your eyes. You can close them and you don't see nothing. You can not look over there and you don't see nothing. You can look down and look up. Even in the different scriptures where they talk about it, right? The first thing that's told is that the men, you lower your gaze first. And then the women. Then they address the women how the women should dress. Like that type of logic, I'd be like, oh, what is these dudes talking about, man? Anything to remove the blame, anything to put blame on Angel Reese, that's what they'll do. As if she's doing something different from all these other chicks. Oh, I'm sorry, women, young ladies. It blows my mind, man. Like, that's the stuff I don't like. Then she brought it on herself. You know, come on, man. Jabari Mitchell says, they still say CC is in the MVP conversation. She played 8 games. This dude is crazy. So first, last year she's in the MVP conversation, right? To them, because the I don't know, the assist numbers or whatever they thought was breaking all these records and all that, which really ain't nothing but benchmarks. They're not records, right? And then, because she's taking his team to the playoffs, right? Their narrative, she dragged them to the playoffs. even though you got a damn co-star that is averaging 19 as many points as you. How you drag the team to the playoffs when you got a two guard that's next to you that's averaging more points than you, but you dragging the team to the playoffs, right? Then it's your MVP conversation, right? Because you're dragging them. All right, so now she's not playing. So you're not dragging nobody nowhere. And you're still the MVP conversation. How? Yo, this is crazy, man. Oh, man. Yo, these dudes is crazy, bruh. Be bigger. These dudes is crazy. Jack said, I respect you. I know, Jack. We good, Jack. I didn't say anything. You said anything wrong, Jack. I said I appreciate it, you know what I mean? The nice words, you know. They need to give Paige more credit like they do CC. Paige is way better. Well, this is the difference with Paige and CC, I think. And I'm not even going to mention, you know, the type of person Paige is as far as the statement that she made, which which bothers the hell out of them, which blows my mind, right? It really blows my mind. Like, these people, right? This is what gets me about these types of people. Now, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to talk about it, right? So Paige Burgers goes up there and she talks about the different, you know, black women that contributed to the game that she loves and so on, and acknowledge them, which is like, let's be for real. You got to look at the fact that Paige grew up in Minnesota during the Minnesota Lynx run, okay? And that run was mostly by, you know, Simone Augustus, Maya Moore, who were her favorite players. Now, there was a white girl on the team, too, who was good. I forget her name, though, right? But we know that the stars with Simone Augustus and so on. So you got to understand her entire mindset is going to be that anyway. Like, these were heroes you grew up that. And she's also someone that grew up in a household where that shit ain't an issue with them. Race just ain't a thing in that household, right? Most of us can't even relate to that. I can't. I'm not from a mixed family. Neither is most of us, so we don't know. So she has a perspective that we don't have. Maybe she can teach something to our ignorant asses, to be honest with you, about that. Maybe it can work, okay? Maybe we should humble ourselves and think maybe she can teach the world something, right? That's number one. But this is what gets me about the mentality of people who hate what she said. Like, they look at that as kissing the ring. These same motherfuckers, right? Let's be for real. Think that people like me should be grateful to a guy like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, who's the other guy? John Adams, and guys like that, right? Why? Because they're the founding fathers of America, whatever. Even though most of them, you know, had slaves and was just doing all types of shit with black women, doing all types of just vile shit, right? We're supposed to just respect them anyway, right? Even guys who wrote the original national anthem, where within it, you know, they was bragging about shit they were doing to slaves and all of this type of shit, right? If you read the original one and all that. No, we're expected to just be, oh God, patriotic and, you know, all this type of shit towards them. And acknowledge these white motherfuckers for the shit that they did. Why? Because they established the country that we live in, right? But it's somehow so beneath, you know, someone like a Paige Beckers or Caitlin Clark to acknowledge, you know, black women that they grew up and modeled their games after, right? That shit blows my mind. Like, how fucking twisted and retarded is your thinking? Like, I just don't get it or whatever. Like, because yesterday when I talked about 4th of July, right? I mentioned 4th of July, how I don't really acknowledge it because, you know, shit, it wasn't a revolution. I mean, it was a revolution for America to get away from England, and I respect that. Listen, you don't want to pay these taxes, you know, you like, you know, nigga, I don't want to do that. I get it. But it ain't had nothing to do with my ancestors, right? It just didn't. So I don't feel that connection to it like that, right? Like, Shit, I would be under King George III. My people were still, in bondage. Under George Washington, they still are. It's the same thing to me, right? Matter of fact, England had abolished slavery before the United States did. So that's a whole nother conversation or whatever, right? So, but despite that, I'm supposed to still just be like, have this really strong patriotic thing and acknowledgement of these guys and everything. That's what's expected of me as an American, right? But they think that they have a problem with someone like a Paige Beckers, or even when Caitlin Clark did it. I don't know if it was forced or natural or whatever. They don't believe it was natural. It makes them cringe when she does that. Man, get all the way the fuck out of here. Go sit down somewhere, man. So I don't play these dudes no mind with that stuff. Guys, it's crazy, man. Wody Max says Cornell is great and Thomas Sowell is a coon. Okay, that's what Thomas Sowell is. Thomas Sowell is a coon. He's just an articulate coon. Okay, and this is why I don't accept the criticisms of the Thomas Sowells. It's why, and I'm gonna tell you why. Thomas Sowell will sit around and criticize like the black community for its lack of achieving this, lack of achieving that, when it comes to culture and all these different things, right? This is what he'll do, okay? But he himself personally won't call for what it takes to solve those problems. In other words, right? The majority of those problems that he's talking about that are culturally, and he talks about this cultural underclass and all this bullshit Thomas Sowell talks about, right? That he criticizes, come as a result of really lack of structure, lack of unity, okay? But at the same time, he doesn't call for like unity, the things that bring about unity, like for example, supporting black businesses, okay? Or the construction of like black educational systems, the formulation of like real black, supporting black leadership. Thomas Sowell don't call for none of that shit. All he calls for is complete assimilation into a system and in a society that's not there to benefit you. That's what he calls for. So really, I don't have time for his critique because it's all bullshit. It's all elitist bullshit. It's a fake ass wannabe derivative of what W.E. Du Bois was spewing. And I know W. Du Bois, his work very well because being from Philadelphia, he was a Philly intellectual. But he called for, he was very elitist. I'll just put it that way, right? That the talented 10th are those who should be like running the black community and all this other shit. When the talented 10th ends up inevitably always being coons because of the system that they're under. Like it just, unless they have a type of sincerity where they're willing to like put their lives on the line and stuff like that, they'll just always like never mind. Let me just leave it. Let me leave it alone. You brought up Thomas Sowell. That just I can just that dude, man. Anyway, we just got away from it. Her popularity is hate race driven and not on her actual talent. I'll put it this way. I don't think it's all race, people that race driven with Caitlin Clark. I do think a big part of it is talent, right? But as I was going to go back to what the Paige Beckers, this is the difference with Paige and her. Caitlin Clark played in Iowa, right? A team that was aesthetically mostly white. You might have had one or two black players there. And I'm only mentioning this for this reason. What she gained was the underdog label, her and the team. She was like this great player putting up these crazy numbers as a team with the underdog label because they're not one of the big schools, like as far as, recruitments, your South Carolina, your UConns, you can add LSU this time, not always, but Tennessee's, right? Who's traditionally big? Tennessee, all of, the teams that are traditionally big in women's basketball. Some of y'all would not know that better than me. Iowa just comes out of nowhere, right? And they don't have this rich tradition. And it's because this one girl who putting up 30 a night, she's taking these crazy shots, she crossing people over, right? I get it. What it became was a Rocky Balboa story. That's what it became. It became like that, which captivated people. People love the Rocky story. It's just Rocky is this Italian guy from South Philly who wasn't the most talented guy in the world, but he had all his heart. He had all of this, and it's this type of appeal to him, right? So people love the Rocky Balboa story, and then he beats up on people he ain't got no business beating. Mr. T, Carl Weathers, who was supposed to be a Muhammad Ali-ish type of character, and Apollo Creed and so on, right? He falls short in the first one, but he gave Apollo a fight that he could never achieve. And Angel Reese was perfect because of her the way she was. She was always the player that just, after she blocked his shot, she do all of it. She had the whole thing where she blocked she blocked the person's shot and her shoe came off. And she picked her shoe up and hold the shoe in one hand. She was just the perfect Apollo Creed type of character. It wasn't on purpose. It just worked itself out that way, right? And then just the image, y'all understand the imagery, because a lot of people who game involved didn't actually see the game in real time. It's the imagery of the taller black girl from the bigger school, LSU, mocking her after the loss. It's like it just gave that next year the Caitlin Clark redemption story. It was like Rocky 2. You know what I mean? That's what I believe happened. I believe she had that behind her whole thing, whereas Paige doesn't. So it wasn't like people took the time to really watch their games like that. I think it was just the whole story and the way it happened and played itself out and captivated big parts of the nation who typically weren't, invested in it. That's what I believe happened. That's what I believe. I don't know if it is race part of the joint. It came part of it, right? CC fans be racist too. I mean, some of them, man. I don't put the racist label on everybody, right? But some people are, yeah. Steady Service Sports Intel already know this about to be powerful. He says, some of these ninjas don't know they sellouts. Just like Harriet Tubman said they don't know they, you saying right there is real. A lot of them don't even know they slave, bro. Yeah, Harriet Tubman was freeing people who didn't even know they was in bondage, bro. Because that's all they know. That's the situation he was born in and was just, trained into. Like, that's crazy. Jack says, bro, I don't understand the English. Can you speak slow, please? That was a nice English sentence you put there. What did you Google Translate that, Jack? Jack talking about you don't understand English. No, you just wanted to keep up, man. I'm not speaking slower. Wody Mac on all platforms. There's only 2 games tonight. You either in or out, like Big Worm said. Okay. Andrew Reese says, I can do all things through Jesus Christ. Listen, I don't have a problem with Jesus, okay? But come on, this is not a religious channel here. Don't make me block you, okay? I don't like that. Because what you're doing is you're hijacking this. Like, if this was a religious channel, that's fine. Don't assume you can come on to someone else's live and do that. It's really not good character, seriously. Even though, I know your intentions are pure to talk about Jesus' message and stuff. Like, I respect the intention, but what you're doing is really in bad character. Like, it really is. Jack says, I don't understand English because accent problem. Okay, all right, Jack, we're gonna be nice about that. Steady Service Sports, so you want a wrench? Woody Mac says, in all platforms, RS, that is a closed world view. If you was watching, don't mean that's how the world came to the same opinion. Facts. Daquan G. Clark needs to buy in or she going to be on that hot seat. I don't know, man. I think they're gonna go with Caitlyn, man, over Stephanie White, whatever the case may be, because Caitlyn is, bringing in the viewers, man. I think it's gonna come down to that. I don't think they're gonna put what's winning over that. I really don't. I think they're just gonna be patient with Caitlyn, and whether or not she decides to buy in or not. Said the Clarkie's gonna be sick if CC gets benched and Angel keeps thriving. I hear you, but there's no way Caitlin's getting benched. I don't see it, man. I don't care what they do. They'll lose, with CC before they bench her. Jay Speak says Caitlin only wants to pass the ball if it's going to lead to an assist. Real hoopers know what I mean. Oh yeah, I got you, Jay. I got you. You don't like the hockey assist, right? Hulon says, Flynn, I am made so ill by these buck dancers and toms that will prop up Clark and her fans are coach killer. I hear you, bro. Jared Bear's channel. CC doesn't even believe her fans BS. She believes what I believe. Maya Moore is the GOAT. Yeah. Oh yeah, CC adores Maya Moore, man. Oh yeah. She adores Maya Moore. Brings her up every time she can. Absolutely. She adores Maya Moore. And I understand, man. I went back and started watching some Maya stuff. If y'all get a chance, go just watch. They have it's like a 40-minute thing they did on Maya Moore, like a 40 minutes of her like highlights, man, going back to I think high school, then UConn and the W. That might be the GOAT right there for real in terms of just real skills at the guard position. Bro, Maya was ridiculous, man. But what's crazy is when you look at Paige and you look at Caitlyn, Paige is the one that plays like Maya Moore and Simone Augustus. She really plays like Maya Moore if you just really watch. It's just that Maya was a freak athlete, man. She had that wingspan. She had that them ups where she could just kind of glide and do all kinds of crazy layups. She was unbelievable. She wore number 23, which was fitting, bro. Maya was crazy. In fact, just the other day I was watching, I went and rewatched that finals. It's all on YouTube, man. The finals between Minnesota and the Sparks. Candace was out there crazy, man. But Maya Moore, whew, man. Woody Mack says, long story short, I had a convo this week on the CBA on 2 different panels. People, the 6 teams are owned by NBA owners. The 3 expansions are NBA owners. 2 teams are owned by NFL or MLB, lopsided. Yeah. I mean, they're the ones that got the money, man. Like, you got to have $50 million to get in on it. Like I wanted to see Dawn Staley own a team, but I don't think she ain't got the kind of money, I don't think, to own a whole team. Now, what I would like to see with Dawn Staley has something to do with the Philly squad. I would like for Dawn to have part ownership and pretty much all control of basketball operations. That's what I think she should have. Part ownership, even if it's, minority ownership, as well as control of basketball operations. That could be the first step toward her maybe one day actually owning a team. But to own a team, man, you got to be balling. You got to have at least $200 million in your account to even make the investment. Because I'm hearing Josh Harrison might have paid upwards to $75 million for the team. Then you got to be able to provide facilities for the team, and Josh can do all that, man. Josh, he owns the Washington Commanders along with Magic Johnson, but I think he's the majority owner. He owns the Sixers and he owns the New York Devils, New Jersey Devils. Josh got money to burn, You good, Jack? We good, bro? Jack, you tripping, man. Oh man, there's a lot of comments here. I don't know if I'll be able to get to them all, and I got a rule. Mike Wiseman says, "Never thought I would do this, but I respect your point of view today. I just subscribed." What the hell was wrong with my point of view before? You know what I mean? I always been the same dude, man. Crazy. Pretty Ugly says Angel Reese haters hate her so much by following her every move. They are inadvertently making her more popular because she receives more clicks, more hits. Yeah, that's true, man. Where are you from? DVD says, funny. All y'all Sky and Reese fans stay talking about a white girl from Iowa. She got your mind going. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you just don't listen, man. But I ain't gonna do nothing. You good. You entitled to your opinion, no matter how dumb it is. Playmaker 372 says, where are you from, DVD? You act like CC is the only white girl who can shoot three. It ain't like she's the only white girl in the league. You're crazy, man. Okay, game tipping off soon. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to the game. Look at Angry Fan. Look at Angry Fan coming in with his nonsense. Boy, you crazy. You just got here with that dumb stuff. But this was a nice talk, man. Came in. About to roll up on out of here. I get with y'all. Get with y'all later. But matter of fact, we got a Sky game. We got a Fever game tonight, Sky game tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be talking. I don't know when the next Wings game is. Maybe somebody can let me know. Oh yeah. I got the Sixers Summer League tonight. For sure. I gotta see what's up with my two young boys, man. VJ Edgecombe. What you said, bro? Brownie playing in the Summer League? Yep. Look at Angry Fan Sports. Now you're a Wings fan. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch me some Paige Beckers. Believe that. I've been covering. If you've been paying attention, you angry fan. I've been covering the Wings all year. I don't stick to just one team, bro. Even though, like, I want the best for the Sky, but Paige Beckers, I can't help but watch her, man. Her game pulls me in, bro. Jer Bears channel. I'm a women's hoops fan, first Lynx fan, and supporter of women's sports. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Pro George Mopar comes in. What's up? What's up, bro? Angry fan lying, talking about Clark better than Paige Claire. Your ass is lying. And you don't believe that. You don't believe that. You're lying your ass off. Caitlin Clark ain't never in her life been better than Paige Beckers. And they both know that. Do your research. Go back to when they was coming out of high school. Who was the one? That was number one. Then you can go to, what you need to do is go watch when they both were playing in the FIBA games. Who was the starter, who was coming off the bench, Angry fan? Who was starting, who was coming off the bench? And why? Who making the playoffs and who ain't? I don't know. Look like the Fever making the playoffs without her real damn good. That's what it look like to me. Look like they don't need Caitlin to make the playoffs. Yeah, they played together in the USA. Pro Charge Mopar. Who started? Who came out the bench? I want you to watch Caitlin Clark before she played with Paige. Like them passes you like and all that. Like that half court pass. I want you to watch both of them. Who started copying whose game? But it's just certain things Paige can do, Caitlin just can't do though. Just certain things, like scoring the post. You know what I mean? Like play off the ball, catch and shoot from anywhere, little stuff like that. No, I'm just telling you, the point is, she was always better. Say Clark is generational, Paige ain't. Then why is Paige breaking all of Clark's little records? breaking all of them. Why she doing that? Why she got a better start in WNBA than Clark? You know they won 5 of their last 7 games, so I don't know. You know how Clark and them start winning? Even though Paige ain't got 2 All-Stars on the team with her. Like, right now, Caitlin got like 4 All-Stars. 4. Clark getting double teamed. Paige ain't. That's a lie. And what would that matter? You know what I mean? That's the thing. You got the same weak talking points, bro. Talking about you want to debate me on your channel? Boy, you better do better than that. You want to come with the same stuff. Oh, man, she getting double teamed. Team play stuck 94 feet. Angry's man crazy, though, man. See, I'm a Reese fan. It's light work. Okay. Definitely a Reese fan, that's for sure. Definitely a Reese fan, well, that's for sure. Listen, Thomas had knocked Paige down like 3 times. Knocked it down and all that. Yeah, Dre P. You back, Dre P? Let me give you a 24-hour joint since you was a sucker. All right, but I gotta go, man. It was nice talking to y'all. We got some games to get to. Got some other stuff I gotta get to though. So, peace out.